The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
अद्य शनिवासरः अथवा मन्दवासरः वैशाख कृष्ण नवमी दिनांक 16 मे 2020 सहस्रयोगम पृष्ठ 26 सारीवादी गर्ग शंखं चक्रं जलौघान् दधनमृतघटं चारुदौर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यांशुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमं भोजनेतरं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगगनप्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धा मात्रेयाद्येषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दुष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको सारिवो क्षीरकाश्मर्य मधुकशिशिरद्वयं यष्टिपरुषकं हन्ति दाहपित्तास्वत्रुज्वला अयं गणः वाग्भटेऽपि उक्तोऽस्ति सारवादिगण नाम्ना ख्यातः इति सारिवा उशीरं काश्मर्यं मधुकं शिशिरद्वयं श्वेत and रक्तचन्दन यष्टि and परुषकं दाह पित्त अस्र त्रुट ज्वरा दाह रक्त पित्त तृष्णा and ज्वर. This is the फलश्रुति. अतः अयं गणः उपलभ्यते आपणे न वा तदहं न जाने, कदाचित् उपलब्धोऽपि स्यात्, कश्चन यदि जानाति अस्य उपलब्धिः अस्ति तर्हि अत्र लेखनीयं, नो चेत् इमानि द्रव्याणि तावत् सहजतया उपलब्धुं शक्यानि. अतः केवलं परुषकम् अस्मिन् विषये विवादोऽस्ति, परुषकं लभ्यते न वा इति, सुष्ठुतया लभ्यते न वा इति. So this particular kashaya, Sarivadi kashaya, is from Vagbata itself, and might be possible that it is available in the market, but those who know that whether it is available in the market may put it. And Daha, Pitta, Rakta, Trut, and Jvara. This is the Falashruti. And the Parushaka, whether it is available, no sir. Okay. That I am not sure. There was one method by Haribhav Paramskar, the founder of Ashtanga Yoga, that he used to use only first dravya in place of all. This is controversial, but he was using it like that. So Durvadi Gan only Durva, Sarivadi Gan only Sarva in that place. And anyway, he was not very well known as a practitioner, but this was long back. At that time, Ayurvedic practice was very rare. Dhanyaka Trishna Trunapinchamulam Shatavari Koda Yavasakanam Sushitalam Vir Varya Nivarya Virya Nivaraya Pitta Trisham Sitagya. So Dhanyaka Trishna Krishna Trunapanchamula Shatavari Koda Yavasakanam Sushitalam Vari Anivarya Virya Viryam, there should be space, and Viryam Pittatrisham Anivarya Viryam Pittatrisham Sitadhyam Sushitalam Sitadhyam Nivarya. That is the Anvay. So Dhanyaka Krishna is Pipali, Trunapanchamula, Shatavari, Kola, and Yavasa. That is Dhamasa. So prepare a decoction and maybe Fanta also, and then allow it to cool. And this Sitadhyam, with lot of Padisharkara, I mean, Anivarya Viryam Pitta Trisham Divarya. This kind of Shitala Jala is very much useful in a thirst that cannot be avoided. So this we may think of. Actually, there is no Shunti along with Dhanyaka, but it is Krishna, Pipali. So that is something different. And Pipali is being used even in Pitta Pradhana Avastha. This is again a peculiar thing. And Trunapanchamula, Shatavari, Kola, Yavasa. So Kola is also different in this combination. So there can be immense Trishna, particularly in kidney failure patients, when you are restricting water, in particularly this summer season or autumn, and how to deal with them. Is there a difference between Pitta, Rakta, Pitta? All are used as synonyms generally. And there can be Asra Pitta, Rakta Pitta, or there can be Pittasra. Both the ways are used. So Kola is a kind of Badar. So, which kind of badara that we may try to understand. And Kolakulasthadi, this is one of the Udvartana, very commonly used. So we may have to think of this. And since it is containing Trinapanchamula is the main ingredient of these five for Mutra Sanjanana or something like that. And in kidney failure, I'm using Trinapanchamula Siddhagala as well. And we prepare one CKD powder. CKD Sayog. I don't remember right now, but Kolakulathati used for lip also. Yeah. So I think, but one of the ingredients of that is Tranapanchamula. And this we are asking the patients to make Siddha Jala from 2 liters to half liter. So it is reduced to only 1/4, and that is to be done throughout the day. So this Pitta Trusha particularly, and there is a concept of Dhanyaka and Shunthi, or Dhanyaka and Jiraka with Sitadhya for Trishna, and that is a simple one. We may have to think about this, and that we can use. Varshabhunagara. No, this is different. Actually, where it is getting differentiated. Drugs after getting cooled naturally administered internally with sugar with Tajatushna. Mrudvika Madhuka Madhuka Pippali Karjure Malaya Jasariva the Najeki Soshira Shutamatava Sushita Mambha Murcha Madam Ativibrahman Nerasye. So clearly said as Madate Harakashai. So Mrudvika Madhuka Madhuka. So Moha and Yashti Madhu Pippali Karjurair Malayaja Sarivabdalajai. And Karjura Malayaja is Chandana. Sariva Abda is Musta, Naja, and Shira. So Shira is Shrutamatva, Sushita Mambha. So where this Athva is to be applicable, that is again a big question. While working on Triskanda Kosha or even working on Pratipadika Kosha, it is sometimes very clumsy to use the word Va, Athva, to Va, or something like that. At which place? This is a big issue. And as per the Anvaya, the whole meaning of that sutra will change. I just give one example. Yoni Garbhashayastam Pittam Sandhushaya Sarajaskamata. This is in one of the Yoni Vata. Now, Pittam Yoni Garbhashayastam Che Asruk Sandhushaya Che. This might be one another. Yoni Garbhashayastam Pittam Che Asruk Sandhushaya Che. Yoni Garbhashayastam Pittam Asruk Sandhushaya Che. So there are varieties of meanings. So becoming of Pitta Yoni Garbhashayasya is one condition. Then the Dushti of Rakta by this Pitta, that is another condition. And so this is not related with Va, but there are certain examples regarding Va as well. And then only an expert in Sanskrit may throw light on what to do it with that or something like that. Now here they have put all of them together or something like that. One of the meanings is Mrudvika Madhuka Madhuka Pippalibhi Soshiraihi Sushitam Ambha Athava Karjurai Maraja Sarima Abdalajai Soshiraihi Sushitam Ambha Shrutam Sushitam Ambha. So this Athava can be taken for the first line and the second line separately, either first or second, and Soshirehi being common to both. So either Mrudvika, Madhuka, Pipali, and Soshira, and or Karjura, Malayaju, Sariva, Abdalajehi, Soshira. That is another meaning. Shrutam, Sushitam Ambaha. So Shruta and Sushitam Ambaha. Another option of Athava is as he has done. So altogether, Shrutam, Athava Sushitam Ambaha. So the Athava is between Shruta and Sushita. So Shrutam, that is hot, to be drunk in hot. Athva Sushitam, or allowed to cool, and Sushita or something like that. Trun Murcha Matam Ativibhramandarasya. So Trun Murcha Mada Ativibhrama. These things are taken care of, these are conquered by this Quatha. So Athava is better with Mrudvika and Kharjura, and not better with Shruta Athva Amba. Or this might be Athava for the previous stanza. So in that scenario, that Bhanyakadi should be done, Athava this should be done, Sushitam. But then the Falashruti of that will be applicable to this as well, which this may not seem to be proper. This has a separate Falashruti. It was Pitta Trushna over the Falashruti over there. And this is not Pitta Trushna, this is Trun Murcha Madam Ativikrama. So better to put that Athava for Mudvika and Kharjura, and Ushira is common in both of these things. Now, Soshirahi is again of two types. One is you have to put in the decoction while making decoction, or Pippalivihi Lajehi Shrutam Soshirehi Sushitam Ambaha. That is also possible. So, what way you make the Anvay, that makes a difference. So, you have to make a decoction, then put Ushira into that, allow it to cool, and Ushira is not boiled along with other things. And this I am asking many patients to do, particularly in this very hot season, Grishma Ritu. There is no satisfaction after drinking water. So one has to boil water, allow it to cool, and while cooling you put Ushira into that, and then you may put into earthen pot. That is also possible. Sitadhya is just adding sugar or adding sugar in large quantities as sharbat. That is true. It's Sitadhya, it would be much more quantity of sugar, so it should taste sweet or something like that. Sikediyo Guduchi Dhanyaka Vishwa Musta Chandan Ushira Nilakamal. Okay, so he has already put it. From where did we take it? I don't understand. Remember right now. Guduchi Padmakarishta Dhanaka Raktakandanam. Yashti Parushakam Hanti Dahapitas. नहीं वो Pittashlesh Dahatrushnagnamagni. Padmakashta is not there. I don't remember from where it is, but anyway, he had made this available, so that is fine. Parushaka is also available in North India. Yeah, that I know. but this is not really available in Maharashtra or something like that. Could you share Sikedi Yoga with Trinapanchamula when you recall it, sir? No, if Vani has put this, then this would be the thing. I am asking also Trinapanchamula Jala or Sukumaraka Kashaya or Sukumaraka Drita, in which Trinapanchamula is one of the contents that I am trying to use. Kevala थंड पाणी त्रुट मूर्छा आदी दूर करते असाही अर्थ होईल. Don't think so. We'll see the reference once again, but no. वा थंड करून किंवा हिम घ्यावा असं असेल का? That is possible. So Kvath has to be allowed to cool and then to be drunk, but not Hima. It might be Fanta, not really Kvatha, but Fanta. Sikedio, Sharandar, Mutra Kuruksha. Okay, so he has given the reference as well. That is fine. I think it's from Sharandar, and Nira Kamala is additional. Okay, fine. So this Kamala is particularly for prasadana, na? Mutra Virajana. Mutra Virajana. There are 5 varieties of Kamala for Mutra Virajana. And so that was, Mutra Virajana. So that has been added. Soshirehi Shutam Athva Sushitamam Bha. What Manoj is saying, that might also be another possible meaning. So Soshirehi Athva Soshirehi Shutam. So what the way in which he has made the meaning. Mridvika till Ushira, one part, Shutam, Athva Sushitam Ambaha, or just cold water or something like that. But I think even though this is a possible meaning, better what I said, Murdvikadi one yog with Ushira, Karjuradi another yog with Ushira. And after the Shruta is ready, allow it to cool down and drink. That is one thing. Or you make a decoction, allow it to cool down and put Ushira into that while cooling down or even after, and then drink that water. That's a better part to understand. All 10 contents Mutra Virajaniya Gana are types of Kamala. Khazur, Dadim, Draksha, Tintidika, Amlika, Amalaki, Kharjuradi, Mantha, Incharaka, Sarva Madhya Vikaran. That is another issue. But Kharjura, Dadima, Draksha, Tintidika, Amlika, Amalaki. So this is Kharjuradi Mantha. How many of them are here? Draksha, Madhuka, Madhuka, Pippalvi, Kharjura, Malaya, Sariva, Abdalaje. Excepting Kharjur, there is nothing from this. So there is Amla Rasa in that Kharjuradi Mantha. And maybe in later avastha of Madhakya, when there is Shariyatva, Amla Rasa is useful to bring back the balance, and that is why. Prepare Kvatha or Shita Kashaya with above specified drugs. So this is yet another. Soshirehi Shutam Athva Sushitam Ambha. So here, this way we can take it Hima as well, what he has done. Krishna Murcha Mada Mati Vibhrama. Actually, it is not Mati Vibhrama, it is Ati Vibhrama. Okay, let us try to do it like that. Also, Trun Murcha Mada Mati Vibhramanderasya. This can be both Trunmurcha Madam Ati Vibhraman Nirasya. So this can be conquering mother, Trunmurcha mother, or as he had said, instead of a mother Mati Vibhrama or something like that. So this Mati Vibhrama particularly is found in Madatya. But let us try this for Mati Vibhrama in other patients. Vibhrama is a Bhranti and considering improper as proper, proper as improper. This is so-called Mati Vibhrama or something like that. And then this is more associated with the pitta as such. Then we may think of using this for Mati Vibhrama as such. So this is a good way, particularly in case of Krodha. What generally happens, people keep on justifying their Krodha. And the common argument, if you would have in my place, you would also be angry or something like that. This is a very common justification given for Krodha. And Kolhatkar sir used to say this is not whether it was justifiable, it was proper or improper. Whether this was hita or ahita, that is the main thing. And if it is ahita, then it has to be avoided. But this is a kind of mati vibhrama. In that particular condition, the person doesn't understand anything, is not in a capacity to understand it. So this is a mati vibhrama, and understanding anger as proper or something like that, and not taking proper steps to overcome anger at that time. So this is a dharaniya vega, to be speaking, not adharaniya vega. And in that situation, sir, why Pippali is used in this kashaya? Pippali is being used in varieties of this kashaya along with pitta. So we may have to think about its Madhur Vipaka probably and Pachana concept that Pippali is used. So if Madhya is hetu of Mati Vibhrama, then only this kalpa works better. Can't say. So definitely it will work for Madatya, there is no doubt. But instead of Madatya, whenever there is Madha Vibhrama, Mati Vibhrama, we may think of this. And particularly in case of Krodha, as I have been saying, that this is a Mati Vibhrama, and people don't understand that they are committing mistake. They just keep on justifying their anger and the processes after that anger or something like that. So this is a kind of pradnyaparata that is very well known, and how to get rid of this pradnyaparata is a big issue as such. So we may consider this as Mati Vibhrama in this Vardhamana Gudardraka Yoga. There is a Manovikaranja. There is a Palashruta that it conquers Manovikara as such. Where it should be considered to be used for Manovikara, this is again a big question. So we try to understand these and whenever there is a Pradnyaparadha of understanding Hita for Ahita, Ahita for Hita. So just saying that anger is justifiable is understanding Ahita as Hita. And this is a Pradnyaparadha. And we can say this is Mati Vibhrama as such. So in that scenario, if this works at psychological level as well, without Madatya, then that is also fine. I may try to use this. If Madhya is Hetu, Mati Viprama, then only okay. Sir, we see Mati Viprama in cases of Pittaja Pandu or Vataja Pandu. So using this in Pittaja Unmada Apasmara, we can use this moderate, use this. Okay. That is possible. Now, I have been thinking of using medicines, particularly for Unmada. The schizophrenia cases that we get. Generally, we get them on very late when the patient is already on psychotic drugs for years and he gains weight, he is lazy, and there are so many things. And then it is very difficult to treat these cases and get rid of those psychotic drugs. And unfortunately, there are no cases reported to us right from the beginning. And people try to reach psychiatrists immediately. But supposing we get a case much earlier, or just on the onset of psychotic drugs, or without onset of psychotic drugs, then this might be one of the things. One of the important aspects over here is Panchakarma. And they say that not only psychological, these are doshaja and manasa vikaraja, both, something like that. So Vata Pitta Kapha have to be dealt with, and even Sattva Rajas Tamas have to be dealt with. So once we do Panchakarma Shuddhi, then these cases respond very well. Only thing is, in the initial stage, they might work fine with us. In later stage, when they are on psychotic drugs, it is very difficult to do like this. Kafaja Unmada, moderate depressive disorder, Kafaja Unmada, research done in Kottakal. So that is fine, and this might be this Godardhaka Yoga would be useful in this Gurunagara. Okay, Gurunagara is different, but Shrotha Chikitsa Godardhaka Yoga, I don't know Gurunagara Palashruti right now, not remember right now. Pippali Shirovirechanopaga Gana Yete Mununase. That might be a possible thing that it does the Shodhana of this. Can Badaktaya Hara Kashaya be used in cases alcohol dependency in to deviate his mind away from alcohol? Can't say. There was one Vaidya, I don't remember the name. He was working for de-addiction, and he said that he can give decoctions or medicines which create nausea for drinking madhya. And this is fine. So, and now today's madhya, whether it is desi daru or whether it is rum, whiskey, etc., this has some different effect. And this doesn't lead to madaksya, but this leads to liver cirrhosis. And maybe emetemesis, vomiting with blood, etc., etc. This is very commonly seen in today's drinkers. Tattva hetu and lakshana are very well specific. Can we use its medicines in Mati Vibhrama? That is fine. That we can definitely say. Atattva is abhinivesha in atattva. One should have abhinivesha in tattva, but instead of that, if there is abhinivesha in atattva, so what Koratkar sir used to say, that this is not a question of justifying, it is a question of hitatva and ahitatva. And if we understand that this is definitely ahita for self and for others, then one should get refrain from that. But again, this is a very tough job. And after continuous efforts for years and years, this may change or may not change. Both the things are possible. So, I have been thinking yoga is one way in this. So, the Raja and Tama, these are the main culprits over here. And if we are able to conquer Raja and Tama, then only that will be possible to conquer Krodha, etc. Bhavas, Kama, Krodha, Logo, Moho, Mudamutsara, etc. So, what I feel, Atatva Vinivesh also we may consider. But then, this Mati Vibhrama, we may take into account, and we try to find out medicines like this. And in those patients whom we find Mati Vibhrama, we may try to differentiate as Vata, Pitta, Kapha, which is dominant dosha over there. So here it is basically the Pitta dosha. So Chinta, Shoka, Bhaya, these are associated with Vata. Krodha is associated with Pitta, and laziness or asina, etc. These are associated with kapha. So accordingly, we may try to find out medicine, this Gudanagara or Gudardaka, that might be good for kapha. And for vata, we try to find out. But for vata, we can go for Shirodhara, Shirapichu, etc. And if it is associated with the thought process, then Shirodhara, Shirapichu is a better choice. But anyway, Mati Vibhrama and Ati Vibhrama, both the things are possible. Let us consider it as Mati Vibhrama. And in that scenario, we need to take it out, this Mati Vibhrama to be taken out and or to be treated. And how to understand this and how to implement this. This is a tough job. But with practice, counseling, etc., etc., one may be able to overcome these kinds of emotions. Dusparshakena bilvena yavanya nagareణ va ekekena sanyukta patha hantyar shasamrusham. This is a very famous shlok from our Guruji, Pansakar Guru. And he has been using Patha Mishra in practically all patients. I also use, and Vaidya Dilip also uses, who has been a very close follower of Pansakar Sir. And other people as well who were in vicinity, Shama Kathe and many other or something like that. They should be using. I mean, Kodatkar Sir was also using, but not to that level. So, Ekkenapi Sanyukta, Patha. Actually, the main drug is Patha. Khantya Arshasam Rujam. There should be a break between Arshasam and Rujam. And Yavanya and Nagarena. There should be space in between. So, Dusparshakena, Bilvena, Yavanya, Nagarena. Again, there is a Va. So either with Dusparshaka, either with Bilva, either with Yavani, or with Nagar. Ekkenapi Sanyukta, then Api has a peculiar meaning. So when it is combined with single like this, Sanyukta Patha Antar Shasamrujam. So Patha conquers the pain in Arshas. Now that Api indicates that it can be 2, 3, 4 together. And then there will be lot of permutations and combinations. Pansarkar was still using only 4 combinations initially, and when I started going to him, he used only Dusparshak and Patha, only Dhava, Danvaya Asaka and Patha. So सांगितलं होतं ना मी मागे. Colon's part, I had explained this long back. I have been explaining this for many times. right from the ascending colon, from the base of ascending colon, Dusparshaka, the liver flexure is Bilva, the starting of descending colon is Yavani, and rectum part is Nagara. This was one figure that he had drawn, and in these particular things, like Datar Guruji developed a separate system of what he called as Mutrapinda, that is actually below umbilicus, and this is really bladder, associated with bladder. And Yakrut and Pliha, these are fine, or something like that. So on the basis of the Parthivatva, Akashiyatva in these, or Shaitya, Aushnya in these parts, he developed his own method of using medicines like Shodamshtadi Gukul, Falatrukadi Gukul, then this Varanga Kakshar, Rajani Yog, etc. etc. So this way, Pansarkar was doing this, and in these four quadrants, etc. Tenderness, yeah, so I don't remember because he was not using them when I started going to him. He was using only the first one, discussion. And AKKNAP is even a combination of two is enough. But that means that a combination of 2, 3, 4, everything is possible. And then there will be what we can say permutations and combinations. So Patha with Dusparshaka, Patha with Bilva, Patha with Yavani, Patha with Nagar is one combination. Then Patha with Dusparshaka and Bilva, Patha with Dusparshaka and Yavani, Patha with Dusparshaka and Nagara. This will be second. Then Bilva with Yavani, Patha with Bilva and Yavani, Patha with Bilva and Nagara. That will be third. Then Yavani and Nagara. That will be another combination. So this is regarding combination of two with Patha. Then Patha, Dusparshaka and Bilva. Patha, Dusparshaka, Bilva and Yavani. This is 3. Patha, Bilva, Yavani, Nagara. Dusparshaka, Bilva, Nagara. This is another. Bilva, Yavani, Nagara. This is third or something like that. And then all put together with Patha. That is at another combination or something like that. And then in what percentage, etc., that is to be done. That is to be understood. Now, if we try to understand the anatomical structure in this scenario, particularly the Pakvashaya or something like that. So, Yakrut Samantat Koshtancha Tathantrani Samashita Kundukastam Vivajate Malam Baladhara. So Yakrut Samantat Koshtancha Tathantrani Samashita Maladhara Kala Undukastam Malam Vivajate. That is the Anvaya or something like that. So what actually is happening is there is a concept of digestion with of Annavaha Srotas and Udakavaha Srotas. And available as Dusparshadi Kashaya, Vishnu Hari. Okay. Dusparshakadi Kashaya. Dusparshadi Kashaya. Does it contain all? That might be the thing. Mati Vibhrama म्हणजे मध्य विषयी आसक्ती अयोग्य असतानाही योग्य वाटणे असा विचार करता येईल का? That is true. Dusparsha as Yavasa here in book. Yeah, that is definitely there. Intestinal division. So the Unduka part at the beginning of the ascending colon is Dusparsha. The liver flexure, where the ascending and the transverse colon, juncture of that is second. Dusparsha can be given. Then the third is transverse colon and descending colon, the flexure over there, and last is the rectum. So you can just consider the antra, and then that should be fine. Dusparshakadi kashayam is available. Okay. Patha is necessary always. Yes, that is true. Dusparsha is dhamasa or kantakarit. Dhamasa, no doubt. Please repeat quadrant wise. I have already said it again and again. Pitta Pradhana, it is relationship with clinical feature more or anatomical structure. Of course, clinical feature, but to understand this might be taken into consideration. Pitta Pradhana Patha Dhamasa Vata uh, Patha Dhamasa Vata Bilva Kapha Patha Yavani Nagara. This might be said. So yes, it contains all. Bilva means Palamajja or leaves. It should be Palamajja. I don't think it is leaves or something like that. What I was trying to say, let me complete my this Maladhara Kala and other thing. So there are two kinds of intakes. One is food and another is water, and for which there are annava srotas and udaka srotas for the digestion with the help of Gataragni, main Agni. And when there is a Sarakitta Vibhajana, the Sara being absorbed and the Pitta getting converted into Dhana Pitta, that is Shakrut, and Drava Pitta, that is Mutra. So in this scenario, the small intestine, or what we call as Grani, has been playing the role of digestion and Sarakittam Vibhajate. It also does the Sarakittam Vibhajan. And when it enters the ascending colon, in this Unduka region or something like that, then there is a separation of this mala at this juncture. And Damasa and Patha is acting over there or something like that. Now, Pakvashayantu Praptasya Shoshyamanasya Vandina Paripitita Pakvasya Vayusya Pratibhavata. This is the stage of Patu Avastha Partha. And there is generation of Vayu in this Pakvashaya. And there is a Shoshana of this Sara Bhat when it is separated, Kitta is separated, and the Unduka starts separating Mala from this, and Sari is being absorbed. Now, in conventional medicine, the whole scenario is associated with small intestine. It has nothing to do with the Pakvasha as such. Unless and until the food has been digested, it has become Pakva. How it can be absorbed? So, for us, the digestion takes place till the food reaches Pakvashaya, and it is supposed that Pakvashaya is Anvartaka Saunya. It holds its Ashaya of food. And now, when the food has been properly digested, it has to get divided into Sara and Pitta. And it is being absorbed by the one thing. Shoshamanasya Vallina, the clear meaning is it is being absorbed, Shoshana, by the Agni or something like that. So what conventional medicine says about the mesentery and the small intestine, etc., etc., is really applicable to Pakwasha according to Ayurveda. So there is absorption of this rasa or saradhatu in this Pakwashaya, and the mala is getting separated out, and there is Katu Avastha part, and there is generation of Vayu, and that mala keeps on going ahead, ahead, ahead till it reaches rectum. And then we have a reflex to throw it out, and that is thrown out. The other part of this mala is Dravakita, which they say that it reaches bladder, urinary bladder, and it is expelled out through urine. That is what, according to Ayurveda, the physiology is. Now, whether there are some stages, some steps in the process of this Pakwasha. Now, basically, it is Arshodhika. The sutra is in Arshodhika, and particularly the pain in Arsha or something like that. Now, Arsha is at rectum or Gudha, really speaking. And these four combinations, as what they say, if they are working according to Consultor Sir, at these three junctures before getting to the Gudha or something like that, then there should be a role of the Samprapti of the pain in Arsha with this Pakwasha. And Sanne Nale Santi Nasanti Deepte, Arshotisara Grahani Vikaraha Prayana Chanyan Nidanavita. So Arsha, Tisara and Grahani. These are causes Praya for other diseases and for each other or something like that. Sanne Nale Santi. If there is Andimanja, then they are there. They are existing. Nasanti Deepta. If the Agni is Deepta, then they are not there or something like that. Then this Nagara, Bilva, and Yavan, these are all very well working on Agni as such. The consultor was very specific about part of Suchekar. Bilva Majja Kachorakam, this is one of the ingredients. Bilva Majja is one of the ingredients of Suchekar, and Shankavasma also. So he was of opinion that Suchekar has a capacity to take care of Ama in Amlapitta at various levels. Shankhavasma is particularly for Amashaya. Bilva Majja is something associated with digestion as such. And Kachoraka is the Sugandhi. So, what is the role of all these particularly? Matsyan Napi Pradeshaste Siddhan Bilva Shalaturi. This is that another reference he cited. So, in Napi Pradesha Vayu, Bilva Shalatu Siddha Matsya is to be given. So, he said that this is particularly acting in the Napi or the Grahani, Bilva Matsya. And this combination of Shankha, Bilva Majja, Kachoraka, etc. has a capacity for digestion at different levels. And so, when we are talking about Bilva Majja over here, this is at this liver flexure or something like that. So it has something to do with this Grahani kind of thing, and improving the digestion right from the Grahani. Then the Yavani is the next lecture, descending and transverse colon or something like that. And what is the role of Yavani in this scenario? And what is the role of Shunti, which is at the end or something like that? So we may try to think about this. I have been thinking about this particular combination, and this can set a way different trend in Vaidyas. I am using discourse and Patha as a common combination, which I learned in the A. But Spencer was using Patha mission number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in his clinics. And I don't know whether he was using a combination of these. But this can set a different trend, like what Datar Guruji has created. And particularly, this is useful in Manovichara as well. This has a calming effect. And in most of the cases, I'm using Patha mission at night. So it might be with Abhipatti Karchuna, it might be with Bala, with Durva, or whatever it may be, or something like that. But overall effect is mental soothing, and people feel very well with this. So, but I'm using this Dhamasa for this particular purpose. But maybe I will also think over to use all this and try to set a trend in this way. And this will be my homage to Sir, which actually I have not learned from him directly, but I just learned that he was using all these 4 combinations. But when I started going to him, he was 75 plus, and he had reduced his practice to much extent due to old age. Still, he was practicing till his death, up to 81 years. But his practice was very much reduced, and this is more important. So Maladhara Kala is one which is holding Mala. Now the pitta that enters into the intestines has a specific function of Purisha Ranjana and not digestion. The Drava pitta gets separated and Agni does the digestion or Pachana, and this does the Ranjana of the Purisha, which has been explained in Kamala Chikitsa. It's not in the routine or something like that. And this division of Mala and Drava pitta and Ghana pitta, and then formation of Mala and Kato Avasthapak, and then Paripindita Tattva, that is the Swarupa of the Mala. This is being done by this Pakvasha. Now, Katti sir was also very specific about observation of Mala. And Udgaru Shuddhirutsaho Vegotsargo Yathochitaha. Vegotsargo Yathochitaha is a reflection of digestion. So if the Vegotsarga is Yathochita, then the digestion is proper, then the Sara Vibhajan is good and the Dhatu Nirmiti is good. So this might be one of the things, and we try to set a trend of Patha and Bilva Patha and Nagara Patha and Yavani like this. And anyway, I will put some more attention to this, and why Patha is added all the times. Can you stress its role in your experience over that in detail? Difficult to say right now. Pittadhara Kala ya Majjadhara Kala. That is yet another different issue. Yaiva Pittadhara Kala, Saiva Majjadhara Kala. That is what Sushruta says about this. And does this have some resemblance with what we can say bone marrow? That is yet another important aspect. Now I'm getting cases of leukemia particularly, and we are trying to think over the bone marrow as a Asimajja Pachaka, Asimajja Pachaka Purita. But this we may consider Pittadhara Kala and Majjadhara Kala or something like that. And in that scenario, the medicines to be used for Pittadhara Kala may be useful in Majjadhara Kala as well. So this will be a good thing for me to work upon. And why Patha? This is yet another important aspect. What is the speciality of Patha in all this scenario? So I think it's better to try to understand Patha itself. And we may get information about Patha from Nigantus, and then try to understand its role, particularly in this Arsha and these combinations, and maybe wherever Patha is separately used uh, for some other diseases or in other combinations. That also we try to understand. Anyway, this is one of my major areas of practice, and what I really learned from Pansarkar sir, it is Bhagna Sandhanakrut by Raja Niganti. Patha is Bhagna Sandhanakrut. Okay, so this is a good thing, and I had a strange idea which I implemented actually. Yashtimadhu is in Sandhaniya Gana, and Sandhana is bringing together, patching up, so to say. So can it be used in patching up of two persons for quarreling with each other? So I had asked Vedas to lit a lamp of Yashtimadhu Gurta in Kogatka Pratishtan's Karyakram, or to make a patch up or something like that. In the same night we do have done at Punarvasu, the same might be done at various other places. So Yashtimadhu Gurta or Yashtimadhu alone can be used for Sandhana like this. So whenever there are differences of opinion and there is no unity, we may try to do it. And whether Patha can be used for this. Bhagna is Astibhanga, that we know. There can be a Bhagna at psychological level as well. So separating out with differences of opinion or something like that. Arshohara Kashaya. Disease related with Pittadhara Kala Madhye Pand Vapru Shaktoka. Shaku Shaktoka. With Pittadhara Kala. We have to see the part that will be better. Can you please throw some light on the thought processes of Pansarkar sir and some of his work that inspired you, which can be useful for the current and upcoming generation of Vaidya at the end of lecture if possible? As I heard from Vivek Sanis, Pansarkar sir was like your guru. Like, he was my guru. And I think author for Rasayana Chikitsa. Yes, he is author for Rasayana Chikitsa. If it works soon, India will be short of Yashtimadhu in lockdown must. It will be great invention for couple, for sure. Devangini sir using Sandhaniyagan for Sandhana in husband and wife as part of treatment of infertility. That is true. अर्शोग्न कषाय पाईल्सच्या सर्व स्टेजेस मध्ये वापरू शकतो का? किती दिवसामध्ये या कषायाचा पाईल्सचा पेशंट मध्ये रिझल्ट मिळतो? आय एम नॉट यूज अर्शोग्न कषाय, आय एम नॉट अवेअर ऑफ, बट एनिवे I will try to set like Dakar Guruji, the examination of abdomen and using particular yogas on the guidelines set by Pansarkar sir. And let us try for that. That should be fine. So let us conclude today. And We continue on Monday with Charaka again. So let us see. Ayurveda Prakando